I don't know what to say. Um, I'm actually like for the first time probably in a while of watching ReZero and almost speechless. Um, this was probably the best episode of ReZero by far, hands down, and probably one of the ones that I felt the strongest sense of emotions from in a while from an anime. Like honestly, this is just that awesome. Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at ReZero episode 14, and let's just get right into this. This is I have to talk to you guys about this. So let's just get right into this. So we see Subaru kind of bouncing back from last episode where he had lost the fight against Julius, and he felt like he needs to train now. So he's been training for the several days that he's resting and recovering at this mansion. He's training with this old man who's just kicking his ass. I mean, like I had to send that picture because he's flying. This guy is just a capable swordsman compared to Subaru, who has barely used his sword correctly since the beginning of the show. Now, at one point, we have Reinhardt coming to Subaru and apologizing for everything that happened between him and Julius, and he says he wished he would have stopped it sooner. And Subaru at first is happy about him doing that, but then Reinhardt says that I wish that I could have stopped your pointless fight, which really aggravates Subaru to the point that he actually ends up walking off, even though Reinhardt gives him advice to just go talk to Julius, talk to him about what happened, and see if you could have a discussion like that. Subaru is just pissed off. He goes, what? Don't get involved, and walks away from him. We're seeing from this that Subaru really is heavily affected by what happened last week, and you could also see that his persona is coming out a little bit more now that he's getting comfortable. It seems like in this world and comfortable with the people around him. His true character is starting to show itself a little bit. Now, at one point when he's in town with Rem, who Rem comes up to and says that, hey, you got to get out because we've been doing nothing but resting inside the mansion. Let's go out to town. He goes with Rem to town, and they end up seeing on the poster board a bunch of images for the royal candidacy selection thing. And the old shopkeeper goes and starts talking to Subaru and starts saying stuff that no one's going to trust someone that's tainted by the witch, apparently, which really gets Subaru riled up again. And you see right here too that everyone's afraid of the word witch. I mean, he even says the shopkeeper tells him at the end of this conversation, don't say the word witch out loud. People are very heavily affected by it. That's because the witch apparently does have some strong dominance over this town and just people in general, to the point that they're afraid of her, and that's why Amelia's gonna have a hard time winning the royal candidacy because of that. Now, the girl, I'm honest to God, I forgot her name, and I apologize, guys and girls, but I forgot she's the one that Subaru is actually resting at her place right now. She actually is asking, how's everything going? How's this stuff going? Which I just added this scene because I thought it was funny. Like, is that actually healing? I don't think that's healing. Last time I checked, that doesn't look like what healing should be. Just gonna throw that out there. I mean, it's a healing of a different measure, but I don't think that's healing anything besides Subaru's lust probably. Anyways, and even worse is that Felius guy behind him is actually a dude, not a girl, even though looks like a girl all the time. I mean, I wasn't tricked by that because I had a feeling that was gonna be a dude. I really did, but it was funny that it's happened. But after a long conversation, she goes, maybe you have some means of helping Amelia despite all the stuff that's happening with her. And Subaru then realizes, yeah, he can. He has the ability to turn back time, upon death. So he's confident that he could fix things if it really has to come down to that. A little bit too confident. The smile that he gets in the several times of the scene, and the smile he starts getting in the various scenes to follow, is an indication that Subaru's emotions are really disjointed. They're really having some issues here, and Subaru might have to be really careful because I'm starting to see him go into a dark place in the show. Now, we then learn from her and the weird cat dude that apparently the mansion's under attack where Emilia and Ramathal are staying, and according to Ram is actually feeling and throwing out emotions, trying to say that they're under attack, but trying to hide it so this way it's not like obvious. So the point that they decide, let's go, let's see what's happening at the castle, despite them being warned by this girl that, hey, listen, you leave my mansion for the castle, we will be enemies again, because apparently Emilia and her signed a contract that would allow him to stay there to heal, but that's it. Once he left, they're not obligated to anymore. Now, along the way, Subaru and Rem can't sleep. They stop at an inn, but they can't sleep. And Rem comes in, starts talking to Subaru about how he's a good person. He needs to remember that he can save the day because she believes in him. To the point that she kind of tricks him. She helps him fall asleep by healing his gait. But when he falls asleep, he wakes up and realizes, oh crap, she ditched him. And at first Subaru was pissed. And she realizes, she writes in the letter to him that I know you're going to be pissed off at me, but I had to leave because I don't want you getting hurt, and I'll be back soon, don't worry. And, Subaru then has to find some means of getting to the town, back to the actual castle. And he does, but along the way meets a very weird set of people, or one person. I don't know if this is one person or multiple people. They stop to look at him, but leave him pretty fast. And he ends up running then just right through this place and ends up going back to the town that we saw very early on. And yeah, the town, everyone's dead. Everyone died in the town. It was killed off by some force. And lo and behold, the next scene's probably shocking to everyone. But he goes back to the mansion and finds Rem dead. Also, he finds her he finds her mace on the floor, and he also sees that she is dead. She's got a sword right through her, and the ending scene with this was just heartbreaking a little bit. You saw Subaru's reaction. If you actually let the whole thing play through, you actually heard his cries in the background. It was just, he was gasping for air at this point, and it was really, really bad. Overall, though, I mean, honestly, this was another roller. I think I said this maybe 4 or 5 times with this series. Another roller coaster of an episode, going from just 0 to 30, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Like, it doesn't know when to let off, and it's so awesome that they have a show like this. I mean, honestly, I'm serious, guys and girls. I might say it right now. I think ReZero is gonna be my anime of the year. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna have actually at the end of the year, and I'll announce this again when it comes closer, of course, because we still have the winter, fall, and the rest of the summer, of course, to get through. But I will announce my top 3 shows of the year. I think I might do that, or top 5, and I'll release that probably in December or something like that. Anyways, guys and girls, I hope you like this review. As always, hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Have a great, great day. Bye-bye, everyone.